Hey everyone, my name is Ryan Bird. Welcome to the very first episode of Pax8's Vendor Podcast. I'm here with Brian Hamill at Nuvolex, one of our newest vendors that we're bringing on, and we're extremely excited to announce this partnership. To give you guys an idea, this really helps Pax8 transform our business a lot because we are able to now, you guys know us very well from offering Microsoft licensing, as well as be able to aggregate your billing. But now with the power of Nuvolex, we're able to go much further past just the Microsoft licensing and really start helping you guys as partners with managing the Microsoft ecosystem. So full multi-tenant management, everything as a service, as Brian will say, across all Microsoft workloads, which is super exciting. So Brian, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. I'd love to hear about Nuvolex and how you guys got started and what problems you're trying to solve for the great partners of ours.
Sure. It's actually an interesting story because when I started the company a number of years back, I actually, this was not a category where I played in. It's not my expertise. But I got a phone call one day from a buddy who was a 20-year MSP, and he actually went to talk to me over dinner and talk about his business and some transformational events that were about to happen. So I kind of just said, yeah, I'll get together. I didn't think twice about it. And we got together and he said, let me tell you about the cloud and my business and how I think the cloud has a potential for basically completely destroying my business. And so I was pretty taken back, as you can imagine, because I'm like, I didn't come from the category, so it wasn't clear to me. And he was explaining to me, he says, today as an MSP, we, with these customers we manage, we, put people on site, we manage on-premise environments, we sell them expensive hardware and software, and it's a pretty profitable business, right? But he said that all that's going to change. He said, we have to transform our business from this very profitable business model that we've been successful the last number of years doing it to, they have to all of a sudden, monetize what's like a utility, like, like a power, whatever it is, right? Yep. And they said, compounding that is so the money's less, it's not that big upfront chunk of money, but he said also we have to deliver a managed service around this concept called cloud. And he said to me, he said, if we don't figure this out, he said, we may die. And I just sat there and I said, not knowing this world, I'm like, okay, wow, you got my attention now. So he went on to say, I have to transform my business from an MSP to, the common terminology, to a cloud service provider, right?
CSP, right?
A CSP, exactly, right? And so that night we realized that there's an opportunity we got to go after. And that was a number of years ago. So we went down the path of trying to figure out how to create a cloud service provider before the concept of cloud service provider really was out there. Right?
Back in what, BPOS days?
Exactly, right? Back then, right? And so when we started getting into it, and he was like, how do I transform from an MSP to a CSP? Literally one afternoon, we were on a whiteboard, and he was describing some of the issues and everything. I'm like, I stopped him, I said, so this problem that you're having, in how, the thing in which you have to transition, is this unique to you? Or is it something that every MSP across the globe is going to deal with and has to solve? And he said, it's going to be across the globe. He said, this is a massively disruptive event to our world, and we have to figure out how to transform this new world of cloud, particularly with our customer base who are early adopters of new technology, unlike an enterprise.
Very forward thinking.
Really forward thinking, right? And I said, well, why don't we build a platform for all MSPs? And at the time he was like, well, I really want to focus on transforming my own business. And that's when I said, I'm going to go build a platform for all MSPs. So fast forward that discussion to today. What is Nuvolex today? We define ourselves as what I call a multi-tenant, multi-service XaaS management platform for the Microsoft Cloud Stack. So we basically heavily automate provisioning and daily administration for an MSP across all their tenants, across all their cloud workloads in a single pane of glass admin portal.
So email, SharePoint, OneDrive,
Teams,
Intune,
AD, Azure AD.
On-prem AD, right?
On-prem AD, Azure, one pane of glass, single portal for administration. And it's not just administration, it's also access. And that ties to security and protecting your customer data. So it's one thing to provide a portal that heavily automates administration, but you also have to protect your customer data in the process. And one of the inefficiencies of how things are done today with the Partner Center portal is that you have unlimited access as soon as you get those global admin credentials. Massive security risk.
And your level ones have access.
The level ones have access, right? These are the most volatile group of IT administrators in your organization. If those guys get up and leave with that data set, what happens? One breach of one customer, you could literally, effectively, one lawsuit could shut these MSPs down. So it's about unifying administration, but it's also controlling administrator access.
So I'm assuming you can control what that technician can do, what tenants they can manage, what actions they can take at the tenant level.
Across all tenants, what level of administrator we're dealing with, what tenant, what AD domain they can control, what OU they can manage within a hierarchical management structure, what actions they can take.
So just reset passwords, for example, they could limit it to that.
I could put an admin, in control access rights where when they log into Nuvolex, all they see is the ability to reset a password for whatever tenants they were given the rights to.
I can't tell you guys, you guys have probably heard in the news how many breaches there have been at the MSP community lately. It's a very scary time, and this is one area that really hasn't been talked about a lot. Microsoft did a huge announcement about how they're going to secure their own portal and force multi-factor authentication. And that's a requirement you guys are gonna have to take here very soon if you haven't already. And this is another layer on top of just not only accessing the portal, but who has access and to what.
Right.
Also being able to log, right? So
right.
Not only can you control access, but what did a technician do?
That's
so
right.
if something breaks, for example, you know exactly who did that action, right?
That's right.
And what they did.
Who did it, when they did it, what was the result, track and monitor everything, report on usage, everything, all within that single administration portal for all of your partners literally with simple mouse clicks. No PowerShell, you're not using the Partner Center, you're probably moving your level 1 admins onto us exclusively. Your senior guys will be on Nuvolex, they'll probably also be in the partner portal to do advanced stuff, but really you're trying to control that help desk administration and the level of automation that we built into the platform. You're going to be able to remediate a majority of those service requests that come in at that level 1. And the net effect of that, you're driving increased number of customers you can manage without increasing the resource pool to manage them. So your revenue is growing, your profitability is going, and you're controlling that whole environment.
That's so important because we hear all the time from our partners that a lot of them say, I can't bring on too many customers because I have to scale and bring on more technicians. This is a tool that you could, we have some partners using this already in beta that have seen 3 to 5 times X what one technician can manage at a level 1.
Yep.
And not only that, but their level 1 technicians can also remediate almost all of the tasks without having to escalate. So that's been very, very exciting to hear. Can you explain to the partners just a little bit more about the multi-tenant action? So, you mentioned license assignments and controlling OUs and groups and things like that. But can you tell them a little bit about how your SuperClick works along with your multi-tenant SuperClick?
Sure. Yeah. So one of the things that we spent a lot of time thinking about, in this category of managing multiple tenants and users and licenses and attributes and whatnot, is the ability to take action across whether it's a number of users or a number of tenants with simple mouse clicks, right? So we created the concept of what we call SuperClick, right, which is a batch automation engine. And through SuperClick, you can literally take any number of users and assign any number of licenses and their associated attributes, SharePoint, Drive, Teams, Exchange, and assign all these with literally a couple of mouse clicks,
So mass automation across multiple users or groups.
Within a tenant. That's one component of what we do. The second component is what we call multi-tenant SuperClick. So think of that same concept of SuperClick, which is batch automation across a number of entities. What we've done is taken an extraction level up of SuperClick and create a multi-tenant SuperClick. And with multi-tenant SuperClick, what you can actually do is for those top-level tenant policies, right, that you have to apply across tenants, whether enable MFA or whatever the security policies
access or security policies, yep.
Any one of those, you can actually create a security or policy profile. And within that profile, you can just add tenants, and with a couple of mouse clicks, you can literally mass assign top-level tenant policies across n number of tenants, literally at the help desk level with a couple of mouse clicks.
that's a game changer, guys. If you are not experiencing this pain today, you're probably not using the workloads to its fullest potential. A lot of partners are starting to get into M365 and advanced security workloads, and this is a huge hindrance. How many portals do we count up today of how many portals, not on Microsoft alone, how many portals are there?
I think it was like 10 or 12.
Yeah, and the main
that's
ones,
per customer.
And per customer, right? So you got to train your technicians on how to manage Intune, manage Office 365, manage SharePoint, manage all the different management portals, on-prem AD. So not only is it a security issue, right? But it's also the issue of training and telling your techs where to go, right? So that's probably a huge part of the reason why level 1 techs cannot do so much, is because they don't know they don't know where to go to take those actions.
Yeah, I mean, it's critical for these MSPs, if they're going to scale their managed services business, they're trying to, optimize the margin between what they sell that service at and what they deliver it at, right? So ideally, what they want to be doing is leveraging those level 1, those service desk admins to remediate a majority of those requests, right? That empowers them not only to be able to deliver more services and be more efficient remediation, it's optimizing delivery based on the cost of the resources used to deliver it, but it also is going to allow them to go after more advanced services, like when you move into the M365 security, stack. You're now, as an MSP, all of a sudden you're opening up an opportunity to deliver security services and sell M365 business. Now, all of a sudden, you have the ability through our platform for literally your service desk admins to deliver on these advanced security services just using simple mouse clicks. And the reason why is because we have the ability to create these policies and put them in templates, and then the senior admins allow these level 1 service desk guys to apply these templates that are already predefined across n number of temps with literally a couple mouse clicks.
So really what we just said is make your level 1 techs more efficient, right, and more secure, but also making your level 3 techs not have to write PowerShell scripts and be able to write templates without knowing code or knowing PowerShell, and being able to push this out. So that's extremely important. So making all the way from a level 1 to a level 3, making them more efficient and more secure.
That's correct. Yeah.
I can't tell you how excited we are to bring you guys on as a vendor. From our perspective, this really changes the game for Pax8 because we have a complete story now. So not only can you acquire your licenses and make billing very easy for your business side of the house, but for your technical side of the house, we make your lives a lot easier to manage and secure your Office 365 environments to help you guys scale and grow your business. So, I can't thank you enough for joining. Is there anything else you want to tell the group here? I mean, I think that every one of our sales reps and even partners that have been testing us are blown away. I want to say one thing about one of our largest partners said, it blew me away when he's like, I finally found a missing gap in my business. He's like, this is the third leg of the stool that I've been looking for the last 5 years. I have my RMM and my PSA, but now with the power of your tool, you can now manage cloud a lot more efficiently and securely. So I see you guys as honestly paving the way, and I have yet to see another vendor do what you're able to do. So we're extremely excited.
Yeah, no, I think when we first met at one of the Inspire shows a little while back, I think we always had a vision of what we wanted to build, where we wanted to go, the problems we wanted to solve. And I think it's because we had DNA of MSPs involved in our company very early on. So I always talk about Nuvolex as being a platform that was built by MSPs for MSPs. That's the way we think of ourselves. The thing that caught my attention with Pax8, quite frankly, was the fact that as an emerging company coming into a space, there are certain things we're very good at, and there's certain things that you guys are very good at, and you offload very critical components of the business from us and allow us to focus on what we do best, which is what we believe is build great technology, right? So the fact that you were able to handle things like pre and post sales support, the fact that you were able to do sales and marketing for us, and just part of that relationship, quite honestly, was huge for us. And for a company like us who we would just want to build more great technology and add more services and capabilities and stuff, it was just an easy decision. Yeah. And so when I think about what you're saying about what Pax8 does today and serve that left side of the business side of the the MSP, and then what Nuvolex does in terms of we serve the right side of delivering the managed services component, it's massively powerful.
Match made in heaven, right? And It's also really exciting that you guys are going outside of Microsoft, which is evolution of your company. It's not just going to be one place. I think your strategy is extremely smart to be able to add in more workloads, and we're extremely excited to have you guys. So I am assuming partners are going to. When they hear about this, they're going to freak out because I see it on Reddit almost every day is, why is Microsoft not multi-tenant? And finally, there is a tool out there. So hooray, right? You guys have something and it exists. And these guys have done a great job at building out an incredibly powerful platform. So thank you guys for joining, Brian.
Yeah,
thank you. Really
We're
appreciate
excited.
it. And once again, thanks for joining our first ever vendor podcast.